Hello, how are you? I am Joel, and today we are going to be talking about the support role. Despite the nerfs that came to the support role, like a patch ago, the support role is still overpowered. It is still frustrating to play against, because think about it. What do cooldowns do besides make the frustrating ability appear less often? They do nothing else. And so the devs targeting the cooldowns, they did not understand the fundamental reason why these abilities are so despised by the community. And that's something that I feel like I need to talk about in this video. So without further ado, let's talk about the support role. Now, to preface this video, I have to say that the support passives were introduced with the birth of Overwatch 2. Now, the support passives, as they are, is an okay concept because the support passives really helped with the survivability of each support hero. Now, that was only because at the very start of Overwatch 2, supports felt like they were very vulnerable to the amount of damage coming from the tank role and the amount of damage coming from the DPS role. The support's passives were there to help them, to assist them. But nowadays, when things have been so drastically different to the outset of Overwatch 2, it's really hard to create an argument for the existence of these passives, because the support role as itself, the support characters in the role, are so overpowered in terms of their healing potential and their own survivability that the support passive is just something added on top, and that is not good. Furthermore, if you're talking about the passive, obviously there are differences in how it affects each support character, much like how the DPS passive affects different heroes. Like a Hanzo does not care at all about the DPS passive because he doesn't reload. A Tracer cares a lot about the DPS passive because she reloads all the time. You know, she relies on that uptime. So, of course, it's going to affect each hero differently. The same is true for the support role. A Mercy doesn't really feel the support passive in the same way, say, an Ana does. This is to say that the support passive is just something that is too complex to be kept for the balance of the game. Because not only when you balance a hero do you have to accommodate for the counters that they may come across, like how hard a character might be countered because of the nerfs that you provide them, but you also have to consider how badly the support passive will interact with these changes that you're making. It's just too much to think about. Now, this video isn't necessarily about making supports less OP, but it's rather about making them more fun to play with and against, because I feel like that's truly the main focus of Overwatch, to make the game fun. If supports are left in such a state in their utility and their healing and their damage that if they're not fun to interact with, then no one's gonna play the game because they make up 2/5 of the entire game. So it's important that we nerf these heroes accordingly. Now, the first point that I need to raise is the fact that support heroes, they obviously need escape tools, right? But do they need two? Kiriko is the worst offender here because she has both Swift Step and Cleanse to bail her out of situations. Bamp is also rather bad with this with his two health pools. That is a common argument that Baptiste has 2 health pools, and think about it, they are basically 2 escape tools. Mercy has 1 escape tool, mobility, and Lucio has 1 form of escape, his mobility. Moira has 1 form of escape, her Fade. Ana has 1 form of escape, her Sleep Dart. And none of these heroes are particularly annoying to play against because they have 1 escape tool. Supports with 2 escape tools, they can be very annoying. Kiriko is insane. I already said that she has Swift Step and Cleanse, but think about how quickly these abilities come back. Swift Step is fine, because TPing through walls, sure, you're allowed to do that, fine, I accept that. But Cleanse as an ability is just insane, because you can't just bail yourself, you have to bail your teammates as well. And that is just insane value. Just providing a get out of jail free card for your teammates as well as yourself is something that is unprecedented. Now, this feeds into my second point, which is the fact that supports as a role have way too much utility. Now, to damage or to heal isn't the root of the issue, but rather the extra utility added as a bonus to that. So the reason why Zenyatta worked so well was because despite having a lot of damage, his burst heals were reserved for his ultimate, and he had only one form of utility in his Discord orb. Now the same goes for Mercy, except she had a lot of mobility rather than sends damage. Moira, ironically, is a good example of how to balance great heals with great damage. Remove the utility, just get rid of it. Just allow her to have heals and damage. That is how you balance the two to make a cohesive hero. Except it kind of makes a boring hero as well, because Moira, I'm not sure many of us are going to be excited to play such a hero. If we look at supports that haven't adequately balanced the damage, the healing, and the utility, Kiriko, she has good healing, she has great damage, but she also has insane utility. She has 3 factors that are just insane. She has the ability to two-shot heroes, and she has the ability to escape 2 times. She also has the ability to help escape other teammates. Now, this makes for a really fun hero to play, because I have to admit, Kiriko is extremely fun to play, but she isn't at all fun to play against. Therefore, minimal utility if the healing numbers or damage numbers are high is the way to go. This links to my third point, which is the one that I really want to hammer home, is the fact that multi-target denial abilities are just simply not good for the game. They are not fun, and they are not helpful at all in how the game interacts with each other. So, for example, Kiriko Cleanse. I've been talking a lot about Kiriko in this video. I apologize to the Kiriko mains, but multi-target denial abilities just are not good. Multi-target denial abilities, what do I mean by that? Well, an ability that you place down once, you use once, and it affects multiple people. So, an Ana Sleep Dart is a single target denial ability because it affects one person. A Kiriko Cleanse is a multi-target denial ability because not only does it affect one person with one use, it affects multiple people with one use, depending on where they are on the map. How can you say that is less frustrating than a Mercy rezzing someone or an Ana sleeping someone? Those 2 things affect one person compared to a Kiriko Cleanse that can completely deny a Junkrat tire from one button and a BAP immortality field who can do basically the same thing. What can you do against that? Is just not fun. Now, the solution that was provided by the devs, I'll show it up on screen, but the solution that was provided by the devs was to increase the cooldowns of these abilities. If I go to the patch notes, which I am doing right now, basically what they did was increase the immortality field's cooldown from 23 to 25. Okay, Kiriko Cleanse. They increased the cooldown from 14 seconds to 15 seconds. Now, what is the fundamental problem with these abilities? Is it their cooldown? Is it how often they appear on the field? Or is it the fact that they simply exist? I would argue that it is simply the fact that they exist, because these abilities are just not fun. They need fundamental changes. The fact that the devs didn't realize that these abilities usually appear once every teamfight anyway just goes to show how dumb these changes are. Because say the immortality field, 23 seconds. Is a teamfight going to last any longer than 23 seconds? I would argue no. Teamfights are usually really quick. An immortality field is usually only going to last for one fight. That's it. It's only going to be used once in the fight. But the fact it is used in the first place is the issue. The fact that a player is able to do such a thing with their ability is the issue. It is not how often that the ability is used. These 2 seconds are just useless because in these 2 seconds, the fight is already over. So what is the point of making this change if nothing is going to change? The same applies for the life grip. The same applies for the Kiriko Cleanse. It's just changes that do not actually impact anything. Do I have suggestions for changes to these abilities? There are suggestions out there, of course. There is the suggestion by ML7 to make the anti-nade ability, which is also a multi-target denial ability, but less extreme in a sense, because you can still interact with that ability. The suggestion made by ML7 was to, instead of making the anti-heal ability a thing, you make it simply a heal reduction. So these heroes that are impacted by the nade, they receive less health, right? That's fair. That's a good idea. Kiriko Cleanse. I would suggest keeping it the way it is, except removing a few of the things that make it powerful. Because a Kiriko Cleanse, if I list what it does. A Kiriko cleanse cleanses the enemy, heals the enemy, provides the enemy invulnerability, and provides the enemy intangibility. So invulnerability means you can't die. Intangibility, which is crazy, means you can't interact with the hero at all. You cannot interact with the hero at all. So say you are playing Doomfist and there is a Kiriko. The Kiriko cleanses herself. You have your punch, you punch to her because you see her, but she cleanses at the right time. And now you go through her. You don't even stop at her. You go through her. Why is that a thing when you have all these other factors for the cleanse? The cleanse on one cooldown does 4 different things. It should not do that. It should not do that. A cleanse, as is in the name, should cleanse. It being multi-target in that fashion shouldn't really matter because, of course, it does a minimal amount of things. This is why Anonade isn't that annoying, is because it does one thing and one thing only. It doesn't provide invulnerability to your teammates. It doesn't provide intangibility to your teammates. It doesn't provide a burn effect to the enemy. It doesn't do all these crazy things that these new abilities are doing. It's very simple, very basic, very easy to understand. Now, you may be asking, why then is Immortality Field annoying? Because Immortality Field does one thing, right? It only provides immortality. Yes, it provides immortality. Of course it provides immortality. It's in the name. But how do you interact with this immortality effect? Well, the thing is, it provides a lamp, right? This lamp, you have to destroy it before actually being able to destroy your enemies. The easiest way to put it. The thing is that it places a barrier between the teammate and the enemy. It places a barrier in the form of a lamp. Before shooting the enemy, you must shoot the lamp. But sometimes the lamp can't be seen. So first you must find the lamp, then shoot the lamp, then kill the enemy. But by the time that you are on the second step, you're already dead. Because that's how the game works. The game is very fast. Of course, there's leniency to that. There's always exceptions, but lamp is a big offender. But I find that Kiriko Cleanse is the worst offender in terms of these support abilities, this utility of the support role. And I didn't even talk about in this video, I didn't even talk about the fact that they're able to damage as well as DPS heroes. They are able to heal as well as other supports that don't have this insane utility. These heroes are able to heal as well and damage as well as their utility. And that's what makes them a problem. The one thing that has been promised in Overwatch 2 that becomes fundamental to why you play this game. You play this game for the kill potential. And without it, what's the point of playing? That should be it from me. This video is more or less a rant, but out a bit of a structure, you know, a tiny bit of a structure. If you have any opinions whatsoever, please tell me in the comments, because of course I am open to opinions. I want to hear what you guys have to say, whether you disagree or agree. I don't care, you know, I want to see what you have to say, because this is an open discussion. This is not me telling you things. This is me giving you ideas, so then you can give me ideas back. Because what is Overwatch without discussion? What is making videos without having a discussion? That's the kind of thing that is very important to understanding what makes this game fun, what makes this game worth playing. And yeah, that should be it from me. So thank you very much for coming. I will see you next time, and yeah, have a good day.